It's been 3 months since the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 was released. Time for me to give it a review. That's what this video is about. What are my thoughts about the Ace Pro 2 now I've been using it these last few weeks? Let me share what I like about it and a couple of things you need to watch out for too to figure out if this is the right choice for you. Let's get into it. The fact that 8K video frame rate has increased from 24 to 30 in this upgrade from the Pro Original to the Ace Pro 2 has made a real difference to me. I use 8K 30 a lot more than I did 8K 24 on this Ace Pro 2 because when I edit, I use a 30 frames per second timeline. The file sizes are big, but for short clips, the quality really is amazing. And I use it more than I thought I would because this image quality is just fantastic. Now for me, the Ace Pro 2 really is the jack of all trades, Swiss Army knife of action cameras, equally at home on the trails, in the city, and surfing the waves. Not that I do much surfing. And it can give you excellent results day or night. But is it good at everything, or are there compromises to be made along the way? Let's find out. The new sensor and lens combination really is superb, and the computing power packed into the camera means that it's doubled from the original Ace Pro. Efficient splitting of tasks between the dual chips results in major image quality performance improvements and powerful AI noise reduction. That's hard to say. This also means that low light filming using the dedicated pure video mode is incredibly good. And I just love the new Pure Video Plus mode, which kicks in automatically shooting at 4K 30. The audio improvement is great with the new algorithms and with this new wind guard too. Okay, this is with the onboard mics, just recording in stereo here. You should be able to pick up a little bit of the wave sound here, and possibly even directionally you can tell which side of me it's coming from. Okay, this time it's recording with voice enhancement mode on for the audio algorithm, which you can't do in 8K 30, but you can do when you're recording in 4K. What does this sound like compared to what you just listened to before? And what do these waves sound like too? All right, there is a slight breeze as well today. So this time I'm recording with the wind reduction algorithm that's on. What does that sound like? Does that sound any clearer? And what does it sound like with the waves here as well, comparing with the two that you just heard? In a lot of situations for out and about vlogging, it really performs well, especially because I live in the windy city that is Wellington here in New Zealand. And you can also now connect selected external mic receivers into the USB connector in the camera directly, meaning you don't have to use any audio adapter, and you can get great external audio, though in most cases, you may not even need it. The mics are actually really good now. Now, I don't talk about photos much when I'm thinking about these kinds of cameras, but the capability of the Ace Pro 2 is excellent. Now with 50 megapixels, which is greater than a lot of mirrorless cameras it could be considered to compete with. And equally good is the ability to shoot in active HDR video at 4K 60, enabling me to slow down the footage to half speed when editing on my timeline, which I love doing for that more cinematic vibe. Okay, this is with HDR on, and we'll just do a little comparison to see what it looks like with HDR off as well. See if you can tell the difference. Okay, same scene, but this time HDR off. What do you think? And then, what do you think when they're side by side? Now, the original Ace Pro was missing a log color profile, which was a big deal for users. It featured a flat profile, but it's not quite the same as true log. The new iLog color profile in the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 takes care of that. Now, I think this is wonderful to see, and it can make a big difference to your footage if you've got the time and the inclination to play around with this. The new profile provides more information for color correction and grading. But the Ace Pro 2 also has those new Leica, Nat, and Viv profiles too. Those are natural and vivid profiles respectively. Natural mode makes it look more real by lowering the color but keeping the contrast strong, and Vivid features high saturation and brightness for warm, rich, colorful shots. The wider angle lens of 157 degrees is something I really appreciated with vlogging, and it feels to me like the focus length has improved with the Ace Pro 2, meaning I feel more confident when vlogging that my face is going to be sharp, in focus, and has great image quality, and lots of interesting stuff happening behind me. I really like the huge, even bigger flip screen for framing, not just myself when it's at 180 degrees, but also really appreciated it when on a bike. or it's even good for your kids when they're biking too, and an easy way for you to get POV shots for their little rides, especially when you can remote control the camera, say through your Apple Watch. Now, though I don't really use the Ace Pro 2 underwater, I do appreciate that this is a big thing for many people. Being able to use a camera like this at 12 meters without any extra housing is great. And the new underwater mode corrects distortion and makes special stylization optimizations to give you a wider, more natural view without you having to dig into the settings and make adjustments yourself. Just select underwater mode and you're done. But related to that more adventure kind of use for the Ace Pro 2, I really like the new removable lens guard. Though I've not had a problem with it yet, it's nice to know that the protection for the lens is easy to remove and install and much cheaper and easier to replace than before. Now, there really is nothing more I have to say about the stabilization other than it's exactly as smooth as you would expect it to be from Insta360. Very smooth indeed. It's excellent, and there are different levels of stabilization you can choose depending on what you're doing in any activity. Alright, let's talk about another aspect about how powerful this camera is. Battery power. I've experienced excellent battery life. Theoretically, you can get 180 minutes out of a single battery charge. Now, I'm not exactly sure how this has played out for me. I didn't have a timer or anything, but I do know it's been fantastic. Most times I haven't had to charge the camera in the middle of the day or even switch battery on a regular day out. But when I have had to use the quick charge feature, very rarely, getting the battery up from flat to 80% in around 20 minutes is totally doable during my coffee stop on my travels. You can also use the batteries you may have from your Ace Pro in the Ace Pro 2 too. And the battery open is a lot easier to open now with a new design, which I really appreciate because the last one was actually quite fiddly. Now, there's also endurance mode in terms of power, which means I can shoot in even 4K 30 or 1080p 24 to give me an extra 50% longer battery life if it looks like juice for my day might be an issue and I don't have any spare batteries around with me and I can't get to a charging point. So yeah, that's very handy indeed if you find yourself in a situation like that. And you know, there's even reverse charging. If you find yourself in need of a top-up charge for your phone to make that emergency call or send that message, you can connect your Ace Pro 2 and use that as a battery pack for your phone. You're trying to find your way with Google Maps or something. Totally great emergency capability. Okay, moving on, you can also get great third-party stats overlays integrated into your exported footage, like from Garmin or Apple or Chorus or IG Sport. Never heard of IG Sport, but yeah. But even better, you don't even have to go out and buy another device like a Garmin, because the Ace Pro 2 has the new capability of overlaying stats from your phone's recorded data. Simply connect the camera to the app and set it to video mode before you start recording. And the app continues to record the data even if you exit the app and use other apps or lock the screen for a short period of time, like checking a message or maybe looking at a map. But just note that spending too long out of the app could interrupt your data collection. But overall, I really like this. It's a really nice additional upgrade in the Ace Pro 2. Gesture control and a new improved voice control for the Ace Pro 2 work really well for me, especially if I set the camera in place and want to record from far off. I can still see myself with that big screen, especially if I'm wearing a wireless mic too. Gesture or voice control works well in this situation, but it's important only to have one or the other turned on, not both, or else they mess each other up. There's also some more stuff to know about, like extended pre-recording, saving up to 120 seconds of footage before you've even hit record. That's the longest pre-recording time you'll find in any action camera out there right now. And there's dash cam mode too, if that's what you need. There's another pro level feature worth knowing about, even though I've never used it. If you're a pro user, then time code helps you to sync multiple cameras, visuals, and audio like never before. I really like the magnetic mounting capability, but what I'd love to see is a built-in tripod screw in the body of the camera rather than having to buy another accessory to clip onto the bottom of the camera. I like generic accessory mounts rather than the proprietary clips that only work with a certain brand. The other thing that you need to consider is that there is a compromise involved in having such a capable camera. It's quite a lot bigger and heavier than other choices you can make. That's because you are actually getting a lot of camera in this package, but that's also reflected in the weight of the camera. Not a big deal, but worth bearing in mind. So who would this camera be a good fit for? The Ace Pro 2 is an incredibly capable camera and probably suited as an upgrade camera for most people. Now, don't get me wrong, it's fine for complete beginners too, but you may feel a little overwhelmed by the sheer amount of stuff this camera can do. So for complete beginners, I would just look at this really carefully and spend quite a lot of time, or plan to spend some time, getting to know the camera. Now, the Insta360 app does a great job in helping you to get the most out of it. But if you're a beginner, take your time to get to know the camera and its functions, and you'll be fine. Intermediate beginners will get up to speed more quickly. I also love how Insta360 adds and tweaks capabilities of the camera through the app and firmware updates and upgrades. That's a real plus for me compared to how some other manufacturers update or don't update their comparable products. I love the Ace Pro 2, and I think you might too. Just take your time in exploring and researching just how capable this little beast is to make sure you're getting the most out of your purchase, because it truly is the Swiss Army knife of action cameras. Check out my video on the best settings for the Ace Pro 2 next, and I'll see you there.